Good morning. This is Miss Billerbeck, and we're going to talk about dividing fractions today. So, we've probably all been in the situation where we're trying to do a fundraiser and we have a roll of ribbon and we have to cut it up into a certain amount of pieces to tie the little bags in a cute way so that they sell and we make lots of money for our fundraiser. So this is a situation similar to that. So I have a 1/2 meter long ribbon. It's cut into 3 equal length pieces. How long is each piece in meters? So I have a 1/2 meter of ribbon. Okay, so I'm a 1/2 meter and I'm dividing it into 3 equal pieces. And I need to know, well, what is that? So I can also look at it as 1/2 equals 3 times something. That might be an easier way to look at it. So when we look at 1/2 times something, or 3 times something to equal 1/2, we have 3 times, and we could look at it like this. 3 times 1 over 3 times 2 would equal 1/2. So that's the same thing as 3 times 1 over 3 times 2. So if we split this up, that's the same thing. All right, let me write that a little more clearly. So what I wrote here is basically I have 3 times the 1 over the 3 times 2. Okay, so what I've discovered is that 3 times, and 3 times 2 is 1 over 6, should equal 1/2. And I see that 1/2 and 3/6, again, if I divide each one of these by 3, I get 1/2. So 3/6 is, so 1/6 is what I want to multiply with the 3 to equal 1/2. So now I know from that 1/2 divided by 3 equals 1/6. So that means this is 1/6, this is 2/6, or in other words, 1/3, and this is 3/6, which in other words is 1/2. Okay, we could have done keep, change the sign to flip, or change the sign and then flip. So I'd keep, change, flip. So I keep 1/2, I change the sign, and I flip the 3 to 1 over 3, and I get 1 over 2 times 3, which is 1/6. So that's where the keep, change, flip comes in. It's an easy way to find 1/6. All right, well, when I have a circle and I've divided the circle, I have 1/4 of the circle that I'm considering, and I want to divide that 1/4 by 2. So I've divided the 1/4 by 2. So now it has 2 sections. So we can see that now if I break up the circle into equal little pies, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I see that this is 1/8, and this is 1/8, and 2/8. 2/8 equals 1/4, and this is 1/4. So if I have 1/4 divided by 2, and I keep, change, and flip, I have 1/4 times 2, times 1/2, because I have to flip it, remember? So 1/2 equals 1 over 4 times 2, which is, and this is 1 times 1 on the top, if that's confusing, is 1/8, which is what we found. When we cut 1/4 in half, we have 1/8. Isn't that interesting? So that's what we mean when we're dividing a 1/4 by 2. We're just making it smaller. So another way we can look at division of fractions is if I have 3/5, so I have 3 shaded in regions of 5 different regions. So my names of the regions are fifths, and I have 3 of them shaded. And the names of the same region, if I divide it in fours, this is 1/4 of that region. So I'm dividing the regions into 4 different equal regions. Now, if I combine the 2 shapes, so I have 3/5 divided by 1/4 equals, and then I see I have 3 regions of overlap, but I need to know how many regions there are, and those regions are 4 times 5. So the height times the base, or base times height would be 5 times 4. Okay, so that gives me 3/20. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I have 3/20. Okay, so if I had done the keep, change, flip, look what I have. I have 3/5. I change the sign to multiplication and I flip over. Oh, this is 4. I'm dividing by 4, not by 1/4. 1/4, I flip. Then I end up with 3 times 5 times 4, which is 3/20. Okay, so make a note that this was, I'm dividing by 4, not 1/4. That's a big difference, okay? So, so you don't flip right away. I did that in my head because you know how I do that. Okay, so 3/5 divided by 4. So then we keep this, we change the sign, and we flip this, so 1/4. Okay, so we get the same thing when we're doing it that way. So 3/5 divided by 4 is 3/20. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to divide 6/7 by 2. Okay, we're not going to divide 7/7 by 2, but we're going to divide 6/7 by 2. So our name of our regions are sevenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 equal regions, but I'm only considering 6 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I'm dividing those 6/7 by 2. So I have 1, 2, 3 of these sevenths. That is half of my 6/7 when I count it out. All right, so now let's try to do 6/7 divided by 2 with our math. So we keep, we change, and we flip. Okay, so we have 6/7. We multiply and we flip 1/2, and we get 6 times 1 over 7 times 2, and we get 6 over 14, and that is divisible by 2. Sorry, it's getting kind of small. And that's 3/7. Now, if I had done 6/7 divided by 2, and I realized when I did the keep, the change, and the flip that I could have reduced right here and taken 1 2 out of 2 and 3 2s out of 6, I could have saved myself some time, because 3 times 1 and 7 times 1 is just 3/7. Okay, so we want to reduce our work right away when it's easy to see. It's harder to see what to reduce when we are using bigger numbers like 6/14, 6/14. So I would reduce in the beginning before we start multiplying, because factors are much easier to see then. All right, so now I'm going to divide 4 by 1/3. So 4 divided by 1/3. Okay, so when we divide 4 by 1/3, I've got 4 here, and I'm dividing 4 into thirds. So I have 1, 2, so each one of these is a third. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12. So there are 12 thirds, 12 1/3 sections. So if I have 1/3 times 12, that's 12 thirds equals 4. So I have 12 of these sections. So now let's look at what that is. So I have 4 divided by 1/3. I keep, change, flip. So I have 4 times 3/1, and I can just put a 1 over here. So I have 4 times 3/1 times 1, which is 12/1, which is 12. So I could have just used my math to find 12 rather than draw a picture of it. Okay, but graphic organizers or pictures are always a good idea too if you're completely lost about what it is that you're looking for. All right. So this one took me a while to come up with, to figure out a way to really show you what's going on here. Okay, so it takes a little bit of thought. What are we doing when we're dividing a fraction by a fraction? Okay, so I have 3/4. So I have 4 things that are equal, and 3 of them I'm considering. I'm considering dividing those 3 into fifths. And we know that these little sections I can divide into 5 equal sections that look like this. Okay, so I have broken these 3/4 into fifths. So I've divided the 3/4 that I'm considering by 1/5. So now I need to figure out, well, what is that? How many do I have? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, or 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so I have 15 of these 4s. So let's look at what we would find in math. So if I keep, change, flip. Okay, so I have 3/4 times, and I'm flipping that to 5/1, which is 3 times 5/4. So I have 15/4, which if I reduce that, make it a proper fraction, I can't reduce it, but I can make it a proper fraction, I end up with 3, which is 12, and 3/4. Well, what does that mean? So I know I have 15/4, but now I have a proper fraction of 3/4. So what does that mean? So if I take that and make groups of 4, okay, and let's see if I can do this nicely. another group of 4, and another group of 4, and then I have these 3 that don't have a full group. They're missing something there. Okay, so I have 3 groups of 4 and then of 3/4. So remember, I was considering fourths and I broke them into fifths, and so I'm still considering them as fourths. So now I have 3 groups of 4s with 3 left over. Okay, and that's what we found when we did the keep, change, flip. But now let's make it a little harder. And let's say, let's divide 3/4 by 2/5. So we keep, we change, and we flip. So now we're looking for 3 times 5 over 4 times 2, which is 15/8. And if we reduce this, we get 1 7/8. Wow. So we've changed the name to 8. So that means we need to take these 15 pieces that we found, whoops, and make them in groups of 8 and see what's going on. So we've divided the fourths by 2, kind of like when we divided that circle, the 1/4 in the circle by 2, and we got 1/8. So now we have 8, and we're taking these 15 pieces, and we're calling each section an 1/8 now. So we have 1 7/8. And that's what we're doing when we're multiplying or dividing 2 fractions, 3/4 by 2/5. So 3/4 divided by 2/5, we keep, we change, we flip, we get 1 7/8. All right, so I hope that that is another way you can consider doing division of fractions and what it actually means. And you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.